What you can see is like introductory screen of the Orbis. I can actually look out it. There is a user management present, so you can create your own user for each officer. And yeah, here on the dashboard, I can see the list of all the cases I have. They are currently opened and assigned to me. So first, I will just show you the features, and then I can show you how we can work with the case. So when I can get into the case by clicking on this orange square. I can immediately see some basic statistic, how many new recordings there are, 24 in here, and how many new hits the system found. And when I open the case, I can immediately see on this dashboard the most critical information. First are the hits. Hit is a some alarm which I can set up in the hit screen based on some rules, and it informs me about like interesting and new things. For example, I can create a hit. I can name it whatever I want, and I can select here either that some particular asset is used. Asset can be mobile phone or recording device or practically anything like that, or that the conversation has happened between two particular persons. For example, I can select conversation, select that the Kristina Malkova, for example, and some other person appeared on the call. So right now I have created the rule which shows me alarm whenever those two persons talks together. So these are the hits. Here, the police officer can set up the most important thing. He needs to be notified immediately. And whenever such a hit is found by the Orbis, he can immediately open this window where he can see the recording where it happened. He can play it. I will open some other one. Yeah, this one is actually the recording of the phone conversation, so we can listen either both channels at the same time, or we can listen just one side of the conversation. And here on the right side, he can see immediately the information about who is the owner of the phone, and here who or which person the Orbis identified that is speaking on this recording. So he can listen to this recording, and when he determined that this is really the voice of Kristina, he can mark her here and confirm. It's also possible to mark this recording as evidence immediately, which will be then shown in recording list. Another thing, like in order to investigate the case, I need to first set it up. For that, I can use the entities. Entities are either the persons, which are living people, and I can assign them some level of interest. It can be either target, which is usually the suspect, or some relative to the target, for example, a girlfriend of the main suspect, or that can be like unknown person, the person which we don't know anything about, or we know who he is, but we don't know his involvement in the case. Or we can mark this person uninteresting. For example, if because suspect don't only do the crimes, they also can call to kindergartens for the kids or anything, and all those persons are usually uninteresting for the particular case. So we can mark them in one of these categories. Then we can create the assets. Assets, as I mentioned, there are phone numbers, microphones, a lot of things. We can see them here. Usually, or for example, company name of the company where the suspect works, or some organization he's member of, etc. And for each asset, we can set up the ownership, either that this asset is not owned by anyone, or that it's exclusively owned by some particular person. For example, his personal mobile phone, that would be an example of exclusive asset. Or that can be shared. For example, it can be some shared telephone in the office, which can be picked up by all the people who are around in the office. Here in the recordings, we can see the list of all recordings uploaded to the system and all the person that are that the system determined they are speaking there. The system usually makes an assumption. For example, we have set up two persons, Marek Smith and Anand Millman here, and we need to assign the referential audio, based on which Orbis will create the voice print, and then it searches the voice print on every other recording. And when it makes the match, it marks the recording with the name of the person. For example, you can see it here as a Marek Smith. But from the feedback we got, always, or in the police forces, the police officer needs always to confirm the identity. That's why every new match is marked with this gray color, and when police officer listen to the recording, he can confirm the voice identity of that person, and it will become confirmed like that. Yeah. So I will show you in a minute. But basically, what the police officer does is that he every day logs into the system. He can see immediately what's new, some important things, the type of recordings he should focus on first, which are marked in the under hits, and then he listen. It looks similar to the mailbox. Here is this blue rectangle or mark at the left means that recording has not been processed yet. So he listen and process all the recordings that arrived at a given day, and confirm the assumption of the Orbis, and he can create new persons based on the or assets based on the information he learned from those recordings. He can when he encounters some recording which is the evidence, he can mark it as such. He can also attach labels, for example these, but these labels can be custom created. And yeah, now I've marked this recording as evidence, and he can see actually the relationship of all the persons on the something we call the network map. He can zoom in, zoom out, and he can basically see in this graphical view who called whom, using which telephone number, etc. So from this we can see that Krzysztof Zogu from this telephone number 63 called to this one 59. He made the one call. This telephone number is owned by Christina Malkova. So basically, Christoph made one call to Christina, and Christina made some other calls to other people, etc. The same here. Right now, we don't see any connection between Christina and Christoph and those two, Kuba and Adam. But later on, if we would upload more recordings, they would call, the network graph would connect together. Yeah. At the end of the investigation, they can create the report, similar like in the VIN. This feature is right now disabled because we would like to have some templates of the how the report should look like. So that might be like interesting for you or for your partners. They can submit to us the template for the report, how they want the report to look like, and we can teach the Orbis to generate exactly this kind of report which they would need. So this was the like overview of the Orbis. Do you have any maybe question, or is everything clear? What do you think about that?